What's up, guys? Fruit Punch Saber here. Bro. You hear that song? Keep going. Let me turn it down a little bit. It's too loud for me. Is it too loud for you? I think it's too loud. Woo! Alright, we gotta lower it down. There we go. Whoa! Wish on the holy night! Mahoyo! 2023! The year of tight moon! Fly to the moon! Oh. It's updating. Fly to the moon! So what up guys? Fruit Punch Saber here. We're finally here. While Witch on the Holy Night is updating, let's just vibe out to this OST and this scenery, Misaki Town. So I'm just gonna say everything that I know so far, right? And don't worry, it's not spoilers, right? I don't know anything about this game, so I can't spoil this game. I don't even know any of the characters. All I know is Aoko, Toko. That's it. I know this takes place in Misaki Town, which used to be where Tsukihime take place at. But Tsukihime, they move. I forgot what's it called. It's not Shinjuku. What was that city called? Whatever. They moved somewhere. And now Misaki Town is reserved for Mahoyo. Is it done yet? 75%. Alright. Dang, I love this song. Alright. What was I saying? Oh yeah, it's Misaki Town. Aoko, this is young Aoko. So she has red hair, but she also has brunette hair. Her hair is brown. I did not know that. I don't think you ever see Aoko with brown hair. Would this story tell me why Aoko's hair stay red? Does that hair ever goes back to normal, or she's forever a redhead? I don't mind that. Redhead, brunette, Aoko is hot no matter what. Alright, now we can start. Oh, they covered that other dude, but all I need is Aoko in the center. Let's go. Does this have romance? I don't know. I don't know anything about this game. I literally don't know anything. So it's going to be, unlike Tsukihime, if you only see my Tsukihime playthrough, the remake, right? I wasn't too surprised because I know I played Tsukihime before, man. Right? The OG. This one, I have zero clue. I don't look up lore from Mahoyo. The only thing, the only thing I like is Aoko. That's the only thing I know and like. I did look at the art book, and all the female characters are pretty. This starting already. Then just like Tsukihime remake. Then Mahoyo does this too. Is this remake true to the PC port, or PC version, I should say? This is a PlayStation 4 port. Alright, let's begin reading. It was a winter day, 8 years ago prior when it happened. That solemn morning when she understood the value of life for the very first time. You want to play with the lights off? Oh no! Whoa, Mozart! Alright, we classy. I feel like they play this in every anime now. Oh! Her home was nestled on the side of the mountain. What's up, Bilbong? Around it was nothing but inhospitable wilderness. She had no neighbors or childhood friends to speak of. Things like traveling to school or playing outside were more trouble than they ought to be. Indeed, with its pure water and bright stars, it was a place rich memories, both frustrating and halcyon. That was only during summer though. Winters in those mountains. Oh, that's cute. You saw that? The trees, it went from green to being dead. Winters in those mountains were extremely frigid, each morning more severe than the last. Her father would drive her to the train station. Oh, my bad. Did I say Mozart? This is Debussy, isn't it? Isn't this Debussy? My bad, guys. Don't get mad at me. My bad, classical bros. This is Debussy. I don't know why I said Mozart. Her father would drive her to the train station. After waiting 10 minutes for the engine to warm up and ice over windows to clear. Oh, it's really loud. Do I lower the volume? I guess. I like it a little bit loud. Her father would savor his morning coffee, leaving her to venture outside and rev the engine. Out the front door she would go, traversing the garden with icy breath until she reached the old sedan. As always, she inserted the key and started the ignition. My parents used to make me do that too, right? They're like, go warm up the car and hand me the keys. Just as she proudly finished the humble task she'd done so many times before, a shrill scream pierced the air. She knew, even though it wasn't human, that a feeble sound was a cry of agony. A few moments passed. Her father came out and opened the hood of the car. Creaking fan belts. Oh! Oh, whoa! Nasu! What the hell? Holy crap! Creaking fan belts, the monstrous looking engine, and something that didn't belong. There was a cat, a mother by the looks of it, and her 2 kittens. The 3 cats had been huddling for warmth in the engine compartments. The cat was missing his head. Whoa! The mother cat is missing his head. One of the kittens had been mangled beyond recognition by the engine belts and surely died instantly. I'll say the background information more later. Let's finish the prologue. The other kitten, its face half covered in blood, painted faintly. It desperately clung to his mother, or rather the chunk of meat that was his mother with the last bit of life could muster. Her father lamented their plight. The previous night had been especially cold. After he had returned home yesterday, the cats must have snuck under the hood, drawn by the warmth of the engine. They had slept next to the engine, and awoken to the storm of spinning belts. The car in the 80s were not sealed particularly well, so it was not unheard of. Her father's voice seemed distant. She could only make out the small tuft of the kitten's gray fur. The rest of it was caked in blood of his mother and brothers. I can see a skull. The fragile life of a speckled kitten. Trembling and possibly blind, it continued to nuzzle against his dead mother's chest. Dang. She took the kitten into her arms and ran deep into the mountains to her grandfather's house. Was it because she was overcome with regret? Or was it the shock of grief? Years later, she still wasn't sure. Fighting back the welling tears, she burst into her grandfather's workshop. Her grandfather was a magician who could do anything. She had never seen magic. She knew that magic was a fantasy straight out of her fairy tales, but so was her grandfather. She had to find him. It was the only way who could help. Hold on. Yeah, I'll keep at that voice. If it's echoing, just tell me. The cave dwelling magician said differently. The kitten needs our help, she pleaded. Whether it was a simple task or Herculean labor, her grandfather would not say. He simply granted the girl child's wish like a machine. Oh! The girl said. Before she knew it, however, she was holding a tiny corpse in her hands. Its fur was cold. The warmth of life had left its body, and the tears she had fought so hard to hold back poured from her eyes. Regret spread through her chest like an endless gray sky.
結局元に戻すと。
Hold on, let me lower the volume on my side just a little bit. There you go. I'm lowered by like 2 dials. It won't affect you, only me. Her mind struggled to come to grips with what had just occurred. The last 10 minutes were a total blank. Who she met, what she had known, it was all as if it never happened. Oh, he erased her memories! The only thing she was sure of was that life, once extinguished, can never return. Wait a minute, did he? I don't know.
そこに誰かいるの?
That day, it was her mistake that gave birth to me. Wait, who's me? Then who is she? I thought this girl was Akko. Indeed, whatever occurred that day, it was a day of nostalgia and longing. Oh! Wait a minute. I don't know anything about the Iwazaki family. The Aozaki family. Let's keep going. This is the fairy tale of 8 years ago. The day they first met, that no magic can ever bring back. I like the drawing. This is not Takuichi, by the way. This is someone else that did the drawing. I forgot his name. That's why the characters may look a little different than what you're used to. Okay, so backstory. Dang, I forgot what I wanted to say. Alright, let's keep reading. Arrogant, greedy, and able only to destroy. It must be a wolf. I don't have regrets. There's no looking back. If my pride has left you behind, my sincere condolences. But at any rate... Oh, chapter 1, the strange one. I suppose it's my fate to die at the hands of a little Red Riding Hood. Chapter 1. Strange one. Okay. Okay, let me get this out my chest before I forget. I remember what I was going to say in the beginning, but I wanted to finish prologue at least. I feel like Nasu writing. So this is Nasu's first novel, if I'm not mistaken, right? Witch on the Holy Night, Mahoyo. So these characters are Nasu's first characters, and I read the art book, which had a whole bunch of spoilers. But it's okay. I don't really know what they mean. So even if it's spoilers, I still didn't know what they mean. Well, I do know this. Akko is the base character to pretty much all of Nasu's future heroines. Akia is based on Akko, which I totally agree. The one thing I don't agree is Tosuka. Rin Tosuka from Stay Night, based on Akko. I don't see it. But honestly, I don't know how young Akko acts, so we'll see. Maybe Tosuka is really based on Akko. I'll guess I'll find out. In early days, Nasu writing too, I feel like he's very graphic on his writing, right? Like he just started off the novel with kittens, a young girl killing kittens, all because she just started the car that her dad told her to do. And I do that too when I was young, but I never killed a kitten before, or I probably never realized I did. Who knows? But yeah, it's pretty graphic. All right, they already start off graphic. The headless kitten that she could see the skull. Tsukihime was pretty graphic as well. Stay Night was graphic, but mostly in the bad endings, I want to say. Heaven Fields get a little bit graphic with Sakura involved. We don't want to talk about the worms. But after that, what's after Stay Night? What did he write after Stay Night, right? There's Garner and Sinners, but I never watched that or read it, so I don't know anything about that. And then that's it, right? I mean, just that mobile game, but I guess it gets graphic too. You know that character Ushiwaka Maru? I heard something happened to her. It's very... There's English translation out now for that chapter. I think it's the Shimosa chapter or whatever. You know, what she turned into like an altar or whatever. Whatever. She got like dipped in mud and she got evil. They said that she got, you know, the R word. I can't say it. The R-A-P-E? Right? I don't know if that's true. I don't even know if Nasu wrote that chapter. Was it Shimosa? What was the one with Gorgon? That's the Babylon one, right? I think that's Babylon. Wait, was it Babylon? Wait, Gate of Babylon. I don't remember what Gilgamesh is from. It's the Gilgamesh chapter. That's the only thing I remembered. I feel like Nasu wrote that. And he's still graphic to this day. This man never changed. And I hope he never changed. He's a good writer. Most of the time. Even if it doesn't make sense. Alright. We're at someone's house. Damn, this looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Someone told me Mahoyo looks better than his Tsukihime remake. Someone told me that long ago. He plays Tsukihime remake on the Switch, bro. I think, honestly, I know I just started. I think it's the same. Honestly. This is a remake, though. So, technically, this was supposed to be better. Because it came after Tsukihime. But it's really hard for visual novels to look better than that. Like, you either get, like, the same results or it's a little bit worse. I can't imagine it being better. Unless they actually, like, put anime in it. It was a quiet morning. From her bed, she could see the sky. It was an ashen watercolor gray. I guess it's also who you like. Because I think the artists are very different. I don't know who draw the background or foreground for this visual novel. But I think the team of artists are different. Because Tsukihime Takeuchi was in charge. I think he was the leading artist or whatever. And Mahoyo, Witch on the Holy Night, is someone else. I forgot his name. But someone else is in charge. Alright, let's continue. Thermometer displayed 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, dude, they translated everything to USA. I think USA is the only one that used Fahrenheit, right? Everyone else used Celsius in the world. That's nice of them to do that. What's next? Feet and foot? A rather unforgiving temperature for November. Her stomach woke up with a growl, pathetically reminding her that she had completely missed breakfast. But lazy mornings like today were, for her, a blessing. It was already well past 8 in the morning. On any ordinary weekday, tardiness would be unavoidable. But today, classes were cancelled in commemoration of the school's anniversary. Gratefully, she had every intention of taking it easy for the first time in ages. Outside the window was a gloomy gray, and it reminded her more of the evening than morning. It wasn't a pleasant morning by any stretch of the imagination, but having been up all night until just 3 hours ago, she couldn't care less about the weather outside. All she cared about was more sleep. As long as she could spend her morning in bed, what was happening outside was of no concern to her. Hey, she just closed the curtains. She shut the curtains. Oh, wow, she got a guitar. Alright, let's figure out how to play this game. What start? Oh, just save. I don't know what it did. What's square? What's triangle? What's touchpad? What's O? Oh, it's how to take out text. Okay. Oh, dude, what year is this? She got the Sony CD3000. Those are really rare nowadays. Hey, what year is this again? Is this in the 80s? I don't remember. Or 90s. I think this is 90s because of the Sony, right? Those headphones that come out to like around the 90s. So this has to be around 90s or early. Oh, this takes place at Tsukihime OG. So this has to be late 90s then, probably. Because they're in Misaki Town. So they probably took the Tsukihime setting and just put it to Mahoyo. Let's see if I got better with my guitars. I want to say that's a Stratocaster, right? Looks like it. I feel like I got that right. Acoustic guitars? I don't play acoustics, so I don't know. She closed her eyes and tried to let sleep reclaim her. It looks like she got a Yamaha too. Oh no. That reminds Marshall.
せめてあと2時間ぐらいは凡庸な夢を見ていられますように。
Blissful slumber found her soon enough. Her consciousness faded. However, her simple request would be mercilessly refused. A faint but shrill sound lingered in her ears. It was the unmistakable ring of a telephone. Much to her chagrin, out of habit, her eyes popped open. The telephone was situated in a foyer on the first floor. Okay, this is really old, right? No one has home phones anymore. So this has to be in the 90s or early 2000s. Or maybe in between, 98. Answering it meant walking down a 30-foot corridor and going down a flight of stairs. In her sleep-deprived state, that distance seemed somewhere between incredibly far and astronomically far. Hey, they make an anime. I'm not interrupting live, but I just want to get my thoughts out the way. So when we get the flow of the story, right, I won't interrupt. I don't want them to make the Tsukihime anime yet. I think they need to do... Oh, they do? I forgot! They're making the movie! Oh, that's going to be sick. Didn't they announce that like 2 years ago? Oh, man. When is that coming out? The phone incessant ringing continued. Since she knew the caller would eventually give up if she ignored it, but she chose to fight the urge. Dang, nice anime. Alice. She thought her housemate would get it, but she soon had to abandon all hope. The realization struck that her housemate did not have the day off from school. It was likely in class at her prestigious little hilltop academy. It's probably the same school that Akiya goes to. And then Aoko probably goes to the same school Shiki goes to. Dang, I want to know a Tsukihime remake. Did he move all the characters to a new city and they just go to new school? Well, what happened to Akiya friends? Does she still got friends? I hope they didn't change their friends. I like all her friends. I only remember one friend name, which is Akira, because she's easy to remember. I like the sleepy girl. Akiya friend. I like the Tom girl too. Tomboy girl, whatever you call her. The blue hair, she's cute too. The caller proved incredibly persistent. The persistence made the volume of the ringing seem even louder. She was left with no choice but to get up, throw a top on, and leave the room. Hey, this Aqua sounds different. She sounds a little bit different to me. I'm only used to Melty Blood type Lumina Alco voice. So I don't know if they used the same VA. This might be a different character though. This might not be Alco. She rubbed her hands together to warm her numb fingers. The mansion heating system was inadequate, to say the least. Which meant that winter was the very worst of uninvited guests. Never more than so than on a dreary morning as this, when one didn't need to use the thermometer to know how cold it was. The mansion sat on the mountains and was surrounded by dense forests. Winter always arrived here first, before moving on to nearby towns. The robotic ring of the telephone reverberated throughout the long hallway. The mansion furnishing had been so perfectly maintained that it made the place feel unlived. It seemed lonelier than it did splendid. Coupled with a dreary morning, it could have passed for a haunted house.
ま、幽霊屋敷そのものだけど、だいたい2人で住むには広すぎるのよ、この家は。
They need to hire some maids, particularly twin maids with red hair. She counted more than 30 rings since it first began. The caller either had a lot of free time on her hands or had a good understanding of the house circumstances. She had a strong hunch that it was the latter. The window above looked out into a gloomy sky. She hastened to catch the unrelenting ring in the act as soon as possible, though she had a feeling that her happy morning might come to a close the moment she caught it. It was here that a series of incidents began. Apologies for the lack of romance in this tale, for whether it be objectively true or merely supposition, it is always from gloomy and assuming beginnings that extraordinary events are set into motion. Dang, Nasu, what the heck? I like that star. Nasu always have like iconic starts. He's too good at what he's too good at what he does. We haven't got to the iconic part yet. I just like that part though. You know, in Tsukihime, Shiki first meeting arc, white woman spotted. Oh, Alko. And then Shido meeting Saber. Hey, it's Takuichi, but he does the planning. He doesn't do the drawing. Lord Takuichi, Lord Nasu. Oh, I love this song. Hinako Nasu scenario. Yo, Nasu. Dang, he's good. I gotta watch Garden Center. I know I keep saying that. I'ma do it for real this time after Mahoyo. Koyama, that's the see, character design. He does all the drawings. Koyama Hirokazu. So he designed all the characters, not Takuichi. That's why the characters may look different from your average type moon. Takuichi didn't do the drawing, he did the planning. Director, Sukuru Monoji. Oh, it's my girl Alko. Dang. Look at that old car. Music, Hideyuki Fukusawa, Keita Haga. I don't know if they did the music for Tsukihime remake. I think it's different people, or it might be the same. I think it's the same people maybe. Mahoyo came first, I think 2013, and then Tsukihime. So it might be the same. But it is like a... I think Tsukihime probably took like 10 years to make, so I think it's the same crew. Background artist, Yoru. I wonder if he did all the background. It did say background artist. I guess he did. Graphics, Takao Osuki, Shima Koshi. Looks pretty nice. Lead programmer Kyobi. Hey! Isn't he like an OG type moon guy? I feel like I've seen that name a lot. I don't remember. I feel like he's a long timer as well. Hey, she walks pretty long. She gotta walk to school. That's Misaki Town. Man, there's so many memories. This is the town that Shiki meets Ark. This is the town that Shiki meets Shion. This is the town that Shiki meets Alko. Wish on the Holy Night. And then they move him. He went to somewhere else. Alko moved to Misaki Town. And she took his school uniform. Yo, they got new school uniforms Tsukihime remake. If you look at Sasuke uniform. They didn't do a new uniform for Shiki. They should have. But no. I feel like they got lazy. The rain had subsided somewhat by the time she reached the school gate. Sunlight seemed to be playing peekaboo behind the clouds of the distance. It looked like it might be cleared up by early afternoon.
と言っても、私には関係のない話だけど。
The weather reflected her luck. On top of being forced out of the house at such early hour, she had to suffer through the winter rain. I'm getting a bad feeling about this. The sinking feeling she had only grew as she passed through the entrance and headed inside. Might lower it a little bit more. Only one dial. She didn't encounter any other student along the way. Hey, is this Shiki's school? His old school in the OG? I didn't look at the classroom. Nor did she see anyone taking part in club activities either. The reception desk to the faculty room simply read faculty closed. The school had given all of its students the day off, except those explicitly summoned like her. A fact that irked her more and more as the minute passed. She opened the door to the faculty room and headed toward the desk she had visited a number of times before. A man at the desk wore a plain shirt and suit that were nonetheless neatly pressed. Slim-framed glasses adorned his face, giving off an immaculate yet cunning air. A mild-mannered image, this mid-20s man presented clash with the cigarettes he smoked. He didn't appear to have noticed her yet.
Yamashiro-sensei.
She closed the door with a bang. Showing no response to the sudden sound, Yamashiro-sensei lifted his head.
Ya, ohayo, Aozaki-kun. Youken wa kiite iru kana?
はい。1時間前に自宅で、事前に何の相談もなく。
Having graduated from this high school himself, Yamashiro-sensei was not much older than the rest of his students. Hey, do they not go to college in Japan? How can they have young senseis? Unless college is probably like 2 or 3 years, right? Oh, wait, it's typically like 3 or 4 years. I guess. Alright. I feel like I never had any young teachers before. For that reason, the students preferred him over the other teachers. He always had something interesting to talk about and kept conversation casual. Teaching school probably different? Probably. There's always like young senseis. Then again, I always read eroges, so it's not like there's pizza man fucking the housewives every day, right? Who knows? There might be. They got the idea from somewhere. I don't know. He always had something interesting to talk about and kept conversation casual. In fact, he seemed more like an older student than a sensei, but she unfortunately didn't share her fellow student fondness for him. She was the opinion that senseis should come across as more austere, like an iron fist that could inspire both love and hate in equal measure, not a buddy to joke and pal around with. He was the exact opposite of how she felt a sensei should be. It was only natural that her manner towards him would be forced and unfriendly. Not that she ever been wired to make friendly small talk. Dang, Aoko wasn't friendly. The more I know.
今日もご機嫌斜めみたいだね、君は。
君は。
それは先生の気のせいです。今日だけ特別という話ではありませんから。
Oh, maybe that's why Aoko sounds so different. She's like a different character from what I'm used to, right? She's so bubbly and happy in Tsukihime. But then she's also like way older and, you know, she has more experience. Right now, this young Aoko, she's a little bit more brash and angry. Everyone was angry back then when they were in high school. The matter of fact, the answer perfectly matched the displeasure displayed on her face. Her bad mood from having to get up early and the tiredness from staying up late must have collectively made her look positively adversarial.
そうならいいんだけどね。彼にはそう辛く当たらないでくれよ。僕らじゃ正直どう扱っていいかわからないところもあるし。
先生、その件ですけど、私まだ詳しい話を聞かされていないのですが。
She's also voiced Asuna from SAO. What? No way. Asuna who? What? Miss Yamashiro Miss. Lala? What? This is Lala? Nah, hold up, man. Let me check this. What's this game called? Witch on the Holy Night VA. Alright. I can't see. Whoa, Hanazawa. What? Hold on, let me look at the rest. I like her, Kojika. I don't know her VA though. She's a good Ito. Let me see. What? She's Asuna. What? I didn't know that. Asuna's in Ayakashi Triangle. She's no, call it a night. What else is she? Nasu. Let me go to this one real quick. I feel like they have different VA. No wonder. It's because they probably couldn't afford Asuna for the fighting game. Right? That makes sense. But then how they afford... Well, Arc VA is new. Arc VA... Her VA's from, what's that anime called? Order 86? Whatever it's called. What did they go for Kohaku VA? She's in, the dragon anime, Toru. Whatever. Kobayashi. Haruka Tomatsu. Oh, it's the same. Okay. I think the reason why they sound different from the fighting game to the visual novel is like I said earlier. This is young Alko, so she's like angry and more brash. Older Alko, she's bubbly and always happy. So she has like the hint of happiness in her tone. This Alko, she's angry. As Yamashiro Sensei met her piercing eyes, he finally understood the reason behind her tone and slowly put out his cigarette. Dang! Yo, Taimu got money! They got a lot of good VAs. They got a lot of good VAs in Melty Blood. They got Seto Kaiba as a Vlov. That was tight. I don't remember Shiki VA. But Arc VA is really good. I don't remember Hisue, but I remember Kohaku VA is really good. I don't remember the other girls. I only remember them. They're more famous.
電話じゃあなんて聞いたの？
転入生の紹介をするとだけです。理由も脈絡もない説明でした。
Now, I don't remember. I haven't watched SAO in a long time. I'm trying to remember what Asuna sounded like, bruh. One of Yamashiro eyebrows stood up, impressed with brevity in her answer. Brevity. He could see that she was angry, not because she had been called to school on her day off, but because she hadn't been told why she was here. Yamashiro chuckled sympathetically.
Sensei, これが笑い話ならそろそろ帰っていいでしょうか?
Hey, this is different. They never did this in Tsukihime, did they? What the hell? We can see the character back and hair? What? This is unheard of. What is this? It's like an anime.
ごめんごめん。謝るよ。冗談じゃなくて真面目な話なんだ。ちょっと君の手を借りたくてね。
本当に転入生の問題で。
Yeah, Nasu innovating the visual novel. The visual novel scene. He showed back. He did kind of innovate it a little bit. Like I heard Mahoyo was like that. Was like Tsukihime remake. Obviously Mahoyo came first before Tsukihime remake. It was like it feels like an anime, even though it's a visual novel. It does kind of feel like an anime with this scene. I never really look at their mouths anyway. I always look at the subtitles. So to me, it feels exactly like an anime.
彼、宗十郎君と言うんだけど、ちょっといろいろとずれていてね。僕らが案内してあげるより、同世代の君の方が適任だと思ったんだ。
She threw him an unamused look. It was negligent of them to be pushing teaching duties on her, but she did wonder how exactly this transfer student was peculiar. That's kind of weird they got Alko out of every other student though. I wonder if there's a lore behind it. Maybe he meant the student had behavioral problems or was difficult somehow. But peculiar, she didn't have the slightest idea what that meant.
ずれてるなんてそう使わない表現だけど。
She had her doubts, but swept them aside for now. This wasn't the time to get distracted by more concerns. Damn! Oh my god! Who did it again? I forgot the guy's name. It's not Takuishi. I gotta remember the guy's name. He's pretty good. The fact remained that this conversation was all the peculiar she could handle, and she needed more information. She was already beginning to fantasize about saying no and curling up in her warm bed at home.
一つ質問があります。
Yes.
何？あ、学年は君と同じ2年生だよ。性格は落ち着きがあって人の話をよく聞くタイプ。裏を返せば覇気がないとも取れるけど、それならそれで付き合いやすいだろ。
I wonder what was the director's decision when he wanted us to look at Aoko's chest. That's a very weird decision. Oh, maybe because he doesn't want us to see her face yet. They didn't show Aoko's face at all yet. I wonder why. I mean, we know what she looks like. I wonder why they're hiding her face.
青崎くんとはクラスは違うけど、きっと仲良くな。
そういったことは本人から直接聞きますし。
Very interesting director decisions. We're forced to look at her chest because the director wanted to hide her face. Why does he want to hide her face? I don't know. Now you guys are tripping. Oh, wow! Why does it look better on stream? What the hell? Hey, why does it look better on stream? Maybe I gotta change that computer? You don't mind? Hey, what the hell? Mine's look rough. Oh, maybe because it's small. Let me full screen it. Oh, it's small, that's why. It looks better when it was smaller. That's why. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be a hater. I know you guys don't like that. I'm just, you know, it's because that, you know, someone told me, it was like 2 years ago too. He was like, Mahoyo looks way better than Tsukihime. He probably didn't say way better. He just said better. Tsukihime remake? I was like, you were fucking tripping. Tsukihime remake looks so amazing. I still stand by it. Tsukihime remake is the best looking visual novel. Did she say that already? I'll be the judge of that when I actually meet him.
そうではなく、なぜ私なんでしょうか?
She did say that already. I wonder why they're hiding her face. Though her tone was still stern, it was clear that she was willing to cooperate. She had decided to put her feelings of dissatisfaction aside and focus on the task at hand. Damn, this movie is gonna be sick! That's what I'm thinking about too. I can't wait for the movie. It's unfoldable. Forcing herself to act empathetic, in spite of her self-absorbed nature, it was something she was used to. I hope they make it into a 3-part movie. I feel like 2 hours is too short. Paradoxically, this force of will was also the reason teachers put so much faith in her. To a point. At times, that strength shattered expectation, and on those occasions, they were left with no choice but to treat it like a natural disaster, and weather it until passed. That was how Yamashiro-sensei had come to deal with her as over the past year.
もう一度だけ聞きます、山城先生。
Eminence Shadow's second season got announced. I saw that. That's pretty exciting. But they didn't give me a release date. I need a release date.
それで、なぜ私なんでしょうか?
Alright. Is it plot armor? Or is there actually a reason? I believe in Nasu. He does do a lot of plot armor, especially with Shido. But I feel like Nasu can come up with a good reason. Pressured by a question without a clear yes or no answer, he answered.
それはね、別に青崎くんが先生方に敬遠されているのと同じぐらい信頼されていて、学校のためなら教師も生徒も一緒くたに切って捨てる鉄の生徒会長だからじゃないよ。
Did he know her so well?
それ以外にこんな呼びつけを受ける理由はないと思いますけど。
Her eyes did nothing to hide her disbelief as she glared at him. Strength far beyond that of an ordinary 17-year-old girl, coupled with the youthful beauty of one. Same school as Face Day Night? No, different town. Oh, I remember now. So we're in Misaki Town. That's where the original Tsukihime take place, but Nasu rewrote the timeline. So I believe this like around the late 90s, early 2000s. I want to say, or early 90s is one of those. And this is take place in Misaki Town. New Tsukihime remake take place in Soya. Fate Stay Night, I don't remember, but it's not those two towns. Fate Stay Night settings. Fuyuki, I always forget that. Fate Stay Night take place in Fuyuki City. So they're all completely different cities. Some say different world, but this is the Nasu-verse, so Shiro exists in this universe, technically. Obviously, everyone in Tsukihime exists in this universe. Guardian Centers exist in this universe as well. It's just that Nasu has this thing like in Marvels and DC, where it has like the multiverse kind of thing going. So if one thing goes wrong, it affects the entire timeline, change drastically, and then Shiro becomes an orphan all of a sudden. It's like some weird crap like that, like Marvel multiverse. That's why they call it the Nasu-verse. But I think every character still exists. It's just that it don't exist like the one that we would know of. That's what, man, it gets really confusing too. They explain it in Fate Stay Night. You know Archer? Archer exists through a timeline that never existed. Not never existed, I should say, but through a timeline that I guess we don't really know, really. I guess maybe Unlimited Blade Works route. Maybe that's Archer. I forgot Archer. How's Archer? But that Archer exists, like, he just like pick out. That's how they can summon heroes from the future. Because he exists in a world where time doesn't matter. So that's why Tosuka was still able to summon Archer, even though he's from the future. It's complicated. I don't want to explain the Nasu-verse, because I don't know it. It's probably best that way. Yamashiro Sensei let slip a genuine smile, admiring the miraculous balance of qualities.
いや、責務だけでいいなら僕がやってるさ。この人選に関しちゃ教師や生徒会長といった役職も関係ないよ。なんていうか、こんな頼みを損得抜きで聞いてくれるのは君だけだと思ってね。適任ですからと強く推薦したわけ。
I don't trust this sensei. That's too suspicious. Alright. In other words, he knew she wouldn't say no.
山城先生。
うわ、怖っ。もう睨まない睨まない。言ったろ？僕にはともかく彼には笑顔でって。とまあ納得してくれたならすぐに移動しよう。もうずいぶん待たせてしまっているからね。それと雨の中ご苦労様。帰りはもちろん車で送るよ。
Kurama. Yamashiro Sensei stood up gracefully. I'm good, thanks, she replied before turning and walking out of the faculty room. This is where the mysterious boy appeared. He's from the country. That's all I know about him. He had been waiting for about an hour. While he did, the rain shower lightened into a drizzle. His mind wandered as he listened to the sound of the raindrops. The room was filled with neatly arranged rectangular tables. He was the only one there. Quite some time had passed since he had been brought to this room and asked to wait. Even the best behaved student would have grown dissatisfied or anxious with the situation by now, but the boy stuck to his spot like a scarecrow. He was chilled to the bone. It was the end of November, and the low temperature in the morning had marked the start of winter. The room was not much warmer. The heater had been turned on. Either he missed the teacher telling him to turn it on, or he never seen one in his life. He breathed lightly on the freezing fingers as he aimlessly surveyed his surroundings. This dreary place was apparently a meeting room. The other students might have considered it a wonderful place to meet, but to him, it was a drab and overly spacious. It was a lifeless place that reminded him of the arid cave. Stuck in this cold room with absolutely nothing to do, his mind turned to what they wanted to discuss. Unable to come up with a solid answer, he returned his attention to the sound of the rain. The rain hardly resembled the rain in the mountains, though he could still recognize it, barely. Its smell and sound were harsher, but at the end of the day, rain was still rain. So even this world, alien as it was, could have something in common with the mountains. That trivial detail perked him up a little. He liked how the town looked soaked in rain. Naturally, he preferred sunny weather, but he liked the rain in his own way. The fog from the rain had soaked up the scent of the soil and reminded him of home. It was at times like these that he was able to numb the anxiety the city had gave him. But then he let out a discouraged sigh. How pathetic. He had already been here 2 weeks, and thought of his hometown still made him sad. Perhaps feeling that he was being unfair to his new life, he composed himself and continued to wait patiently. As if having a passion for distractions, his attention returned to the sound of the rain once more. Waiting like this didn't seem to be particularly hard for him. He quietly endured the numbing cold in the hour alone with calm, deep breaths. As the saying goes, good things come to those who wait. A strong point of his, or not, he was astonishingly patient. It was certainly helping him out of this moment, in this moment. This looks different than Shiki's school. I don't think it's the same school Shiki went to. She, on the other hand, was livid. Or at least OG Shiki, OG Tsukihime that Shiki went to. I think only the uniform's the same, maybe. The profile of the transfer student had been explained to her on the way to the meeting room. She was told he had lived his whole life up in the mountains without any electricity. That meant more than half of civilized society would have been an utter mystery to him. I don't know who that is. Nasu and his him and his very knowledgeable self. She has every right to be angry. His village had apparently remained isolated in the mountains for many years. Contact with villages in the foothills and the mountains only occurred once a month or so, which was unfathomable in modern Japan. Although expressways in Japan, the old national railway now span the country like arteries, it was entirely impossible for mountain villages like his to exist. But she could imagine how someone born in such circumstances would think or live.
村に行き渡っていないだけで公衆電話ぐらいはあったんですよね。
なかったそうだよ。こっちに暮らすようになってまず驚いたのが電話だそうだし、電話って便利ですねなんて真顔で言われてね。そういえばそうだなぁと再確認させられたぐらいだよ。
Hey, what's that religion called? The people that they live away from technology, and then when they turn like 16 or whatever, they send their kids to when the kids turn 16, they send them to like the city, and then that's when they start doing like hella drugs and stuff because they never experienced city life before. So they got a little too turned, and then they come back home, they return to their normal life. I forgot what that's called. It reminds me of that though. She shot a sidelong glare his way as he laughed. It seemed that the naivety of the country boy had cheered up Yamashiro a bit.
駐在もいないってことか。うちも実家は山奥ですから、電気が通っていないのはありえないとは言いませんけど。そいつ、学校も知らないんですか？
うん。 どんなものかは知っていたそうだけど、実際来るのは今日が初めてらしい。ああいうのも野生児っていうのかな。狼に育てられた狼少年みたいな。あ、いや、探検隊の話だね。
Wait.
怖いな、青崎くん。冗談だって。そう、大丈夫。話してみた感じ、おとなしい子だったから。なんていうか、言葉の通じない小動物みたいな感じ。
山城先生、その例え気休めになってませんから。
As she gave her blunt reply, she tried to simulate in her mind what life without electricity would be like, but the thought of it took her sour mood from bad to worse. After all, it was a world she had never known. She couldn't understand why teachers had given up. She too wanted to give up and return to her warm bed, but her good-for-nothing pride was holding her hostage. Not only did the senseis believe that she was up to the task, but she also believed she could do it. It wasn't that easy to go back on her word, no matter how bad things look after the fact. She walked along the hallway, the rain pattering in the background. The meeting room was already in sight. With a furrowed brow, she fixed her long hair in anticipation in meeting this unknown stranger within. How old is she right now? She's 17. I'm curious. She's 17 right now, right? Fuck. Where's Tsukihime? Damn it. Tsukihime. Hey, do they not have her as a Tsukihime? Let me go to the Tsukihime wiki. Oh god, so slow. I might do Melty Blood, but I feel like Melty Blood is I feel like Melty Blood is different. I just want to see Alco. Alright, we might have to do Melty Blood. Oh, they said it right here. What the hell? She's 42. What? She's 42 in the remake? No freaking way. Wait a minute. This can't make sense. Wait, she's 42. Is she really 42? Wait a minute. She doesn't look 42. Well, obviously she's anime. But I mean, yo, what? Hold on. They didn't change the year? Wait. Now I'm curious. Is she really 42? What's that anime called? Mahōtsukai. When did this take place? I thought they'd like move it up from the 70s to the 90s, right? It didn't look like the 90s though. You saw that car? Wait a minute, that does look pretty 90s. Hold on, wait. It's in the 80s. What? They didn't change the timeline of Mahoyo. So she was born in 1972. She's 42 in the remake. Tsukihime remake. That's crazy. Wow. Wait, is she 42 and Shiki's 17? I'm confused now. Man, this is hard. Oh, I could just look up Shiki birthday. So it's 1972. Look up Shiki. Where's Shiki at? characters. Shiki. Dang it, they don't give me the year. It's bunghos. Well, I guess I could do this. So, when did this take place? Tsukihime 2021. 2014. Shiki 17. Okay, let's do the math. 17 minus 14. 1993. Shiki's born 1993. Alright, let's remember that. Uncle was born 1972. 1993. 1972, right? 1972. 1972 plus 17. I think that's what I want to do. Okay, so this is 1989. Wait a minute. Did I say 93? 2014. Yeah, 93. That sounds right. 19. Dang, Shiki's not even born yet. Wow! Holy crap! Shiki's not even born yet. I'm shocked. I was like, yo, Akko is 17. I wonder what Shiki's doing. I wonder what Shiki's doing, dude. While she's in school. He's not even born yet. You want to know what she looked like when she's 42? I don't have an image. Hold on. What did I say her birthday was? Crap. 19. Alright. I do remember 1989. 1989 minus 17. Okay, 72. Plus 42. Okay, she's 42 when Shiki's 17. She met Shiki when she first met Shiki in her 30s. Okay. So only got picture of her when she's in her 30s. I never seen her when she's in her 40s. We will only see Alko when she's 42. When Red Garden comes out, which is the Akiya / Hisaway / Kohaku / Sasuke route. So when that game comes out, we should be able to see Alko when she's 42. You think she's gonna have wrinkles? Or she's still gonna look the same when she was 30? Which she kind of look almost the same when she's like 17. Oh my god. Yo, anime. Yo, to be fair, Asian people don't age. I would like to tell myself that. To give myself hope when I get old and fat. Well, I guess I already am old and fat, but... Was I old and fat back then too? That's a little bit skinnier. Maybe Asian women don't age. That's the real deal. Her elegant strides. Yo, I'm just so mind blown. Holy crap, she's 42. Tsukihime remake. Holy crap. Shiki's not even born yet. Yo, it's 1989. Her elegant strides were like those of a confident general going to battle. Dang, she never had kids. Oh, I just look at her legs. My bad. I would think about something. They say that after 40, right? I think it's like really hard to get kids.
いや、青崎くん、君を信頼してる僕だけど、念のため確認しておくよ。なんていうか、優しくね。
I wouldn't marry
できれば
Akko.
笑顔とか作れないかな。
I would find her across the earth.
作り笑いは苦手です。一応努力しているつも
I'd
り
be
ですが。
like, let's continue the Aozaki clan.
ああ、そうなんだ。それ、いやー、ほんとよかった。青崎くんにも苦手なものってあったんだね。
Aozaki. That's how you say your last name. Aozaki. 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 Alko Aozaki. It's really hard. I like that. We always stare at her chest, though. Yamashiro Sensei shoulder slumped the second they reached the meeting room. I can't get over the fact she's 42 in Tsukihime remake, bruh. She doesn't look 42. That's the shocking part. Well, I guess we never seen her yet. But we seen her when she's 30. And it's really hard to tell if she's 30. She looked like she's like in her 20s. As he put his hands to the door, his eyes seemed to say to her, "Be nice, please." It only made her move more irritated.
分かってるわよ。愛想が悪いってのは。でも笑顔なんて意識して作るものじゃないんだし。だいたいそういうインスタントな人付き合いなら飛び丸の方が向いてるって。
Tobimaru? She sighed about her social shortcomings, but then it occurred to her that being called into school on a day off while sleep deprived wasn't anything to smile about anyway. She also thought the person responsible for this mess would be better off attending elementary school. It might not be his fault, but neither was it her duty or obligation to do the teacher's work for them. At the very least, they could have used their brains to organize all this on a normal school day. Another complaint she wanted to voice later.
いや、というか敵。なんであろうと敵。悪いけど、情状酌量以前に敵。間が悪いのはお互い様っていうか、ほんと、なんでよりにもよってこんな忙しい時に。
You were sleeping. You weren't busy. Her pounding headache from the lack of sleep had boosted her aggression by 10%. Dang, hands on the hips. How does it look on stream? Looks pretty good. I don't remember how hands look. I don't like she got little chubby hands. So pretty cute. No matter how harmless the guy, I still think it's cute. If it's from Uncle, yes. No matter how harmless the guy on the other side of the door may be, anyone who disturbed her sleep was an enemy. Just as she was reaching peak annoyance, Yamashiro opened the door to the meeting room. The room slowly slid into view. She didn't care for formalities. She looked straight ahead and stormed into the room, and found herself face to face with the most unusual opponent. What happened? Before we go on, let's see from another perspective. Oh, wow. Hey. They did this in Fate Stay Night, right? In Fate Stay Night, for the prologue, you play as Tosaka. And then after... Do you play as Tosaka? Yeah, you play as Tosaka. Do you? I don't remember. It's been so long. Dude, was it 2014, 15? To 2023. Dang, it's been almost 7 years. Wait a minute. Maybe it's been more. Dude, it's been almost 8 years. It's 8 years since I played Stay Night. Holy crap. That's a long time, man. I'm trying to remember. I think in the prologue you play as Tosaka. And then chapter 1 you play as Shido. This game came out after Fate Stay Night. This was the first novel. But for the visual novel, I think they remake it a little bit. Added a lot of extra stuff and more characters. And that's where we got the remake of the story of Witch on the Holy Night and turned into a visual novel. I think that's the lore for this story. Right? It was a novel at first, but years later, Nasu was like, let's turn it into a visual novel. He added all the things, from his new ideas and stuff. And added more characters. And we got Witch on the Holy Night visual novel. So that means they took the idea from Fate Stay Night of the two perspective and run with it. Because I believe Tsukihime is the first visual novel for Nasu. Right? That's when he did like a Type Moon. And they were like a group of high school kids. I think they graduated at that point already. Right? And then I think when Nasu was in high school, he wrote Witch on the Holy Night. And then when he formed his Type Moon circle, Doujinshi circle, that's when he made Tsukihime, his first visual novel. But he'd been writing like novels before Tsukihime, which is like Garden Sinners and Witch on the Holy Night, right? And then Tsukihime just became the first visual novel, and then he made like Fan Disc, and then Stay Night, and then Fan Disc, and then Mahoyo. So Mahoyo visual novel seems to be following the footsteps of Stay Night type of storytelling so far. Because did we ever see Shido face? Did we? We never saw Shido face, did we? We never saw Totsuka because they didn't draw Totsuka in the prologue. I don't think so. But we never saw Shido face, did we? Maybe we did. Damn, I gotta replay Stay Night. It's been so long. You don't have to do anything. For some, these words are precise luxury. For others, they're unbearable torture. Now we're him. For the proactive girl, it was definitely the former, though she'd be too suspicious of the motives of anyone giving her such a gift to accept it. For the passive boy, it was definitely the latter, a bitter thorn that made him homesick, though at the very moment his mind was still distracted with the wait for his face to reveal any discontent. He maintained perfect posture as he stared at the gray sky. He had already waited for a whole hour, but figured they must have had their reasons for making him wait. And as long as he had the sound of the rain to soothe them, he could keep on waiting.
でも、そろそろ9時を過ぎるのか。どうなんだろう。
He had been vaguely keeping track of the time as he listened to the rain. Due to the holiday, the school building was completely silent, except for the patter of the rain on the window. The mood felt as damp as the air. It was then. I like that. You saw that? The shadow silhouette. That was really good. Hey, whoever's the director, he's really good at this, man. He heard the heavy clatter of the footsteps approaching.
よかった。忘れられているかと思った。
He could hear two sets of footsteps, one heavier set belonging to the adult. Oh, is it the big reveal? We never saw Aoko's face yet. This might be the big reveal of Aoko's face. He breathed a sigh of relief as the door slid open.
すまないね。随分とお待たせしちゃって。
The first person he saw was a man wearing glasses and an awkward smile. That's Yamashiro Sensei, the one who brought me here.
ってあれ？里中先生いないんですか？ひどいな。話し相手になってあげると言ったのに。
Yamashiro Sensei scratched his head, looking increasingly apologetic. And then, from behind him, it was Aoko. She gonna slap him? With a tight-lipped expression that made it clear that she didn't want to be there. A dark-haired girl with a determined look in her eyes appeared. Oh, the big reveal! Aoko face! Look at her! Not yet. Dang, not yet. Only her nose. Oh, the main character. Sojiro gulped. The sound of rain on the window faded into nothingness. That's when he knew. This was how it felt when time stood still. Aoko's face. It's pretty good. She does look younger. I give them that. She does look younger. She blinked quickly a few times as if taken aback. Why was anyone guess? Why was anyone guess? I think they forgot a comma there. The boy was everything she expected, a naive country boy to look like. However, she felt something she couldn't understand. Oh, he got a band-aid on his neck. His eyes widened slightly as if taken aback. The reason was obvious. Putting his feelings into words was a different matter altogether, so we will never know exactly what he experienced in that moment. I mean, that's when it hit him. He sensed he'd been touched by the hands of destiny.
紹介するよ。彼が転入生の静木宗十郎くん。で、こっちの彼女が静木くんの案内役。うちの生徒会長で休日を押して新しい仲間の案内役を買って出てくれた青崎青子くんだ。
Yo, I give him props. I keep forgetting the artist's name. Not Takuichi, but he did a good job with Aoko. You know, honestly, you want to see what she looked like when she's 30 years old? Takuichi draw her when she was 30, by the way. Picture. Oh, you can't really see. Only have this picture. Can you see that? Her face? I don't know what it is. I think her nose got bigger. But you gotta remember, these are two completely different artists. I forgot the dude name that does the Mahoyo character design. But this is Takuichi Aoko. Takuichi Aoko. I think he made Aoko nose bigger. Aoko got like a bigger mouth too. That's because she's smiling. I don't know what about her makes her look younger though. They both have sharp face. It's really hard to tell. I don't know how he did it. It might be the eyes. It may be the facial expression. What I know. There you go. I don't know what it is. He made her look younger though, that's for sure. His voice and the sound of the rain seemed distant. This is how they first met. Such was their start, for better or worse, like the ephemeral beauty of fireworks. Yeah, I can't wait till the other Tsukihime game. I wonder what she's gonna look like when she's 40. Cause they made her look different when she's 17 to 30. So I wonder if they can do it when she's 40. But to be fair, it's also two different artists. But I believe in Takuichi, he could do it. It was commonly believed among the students that Aoko was always in a foul mood. But this gossip was 90% prejudice, as Aoko simply didn't have time to be irritated 24/7. Excuse me. The reality was she simply didn't want to explain herself all the time, and therefore seemed angry about something obvious or not. The idle gossip did, however, lead to her earning the title of one of the school's 7 deadly threats. The remaining 10% of the gossip was right on the mark. Aoko herself often had the feeling that her tendency to feel animosity towards harmless things was akin to what a chronic headache sufferer might experience. Today fell under that 10%. For today, her anger was pure, and her childish and selfish display was befitting of her actual age. The meeting room was dimly lit, awash in the colors of the rain. To reduce electricity costs, school regulation forbid the use of lights during the day. This was the setting 3 of them found themselves in. Her first expression was that his calm demeanor reminded her of the field of wildflower. In spite of his perfect posture, he seemed subdued and frail. And though describing him as meek would be going too far, at the very least, he was passive. Even through his uniform, she could see that he was thinner than average. His dark hair was unkempt, and he came across as a wholly forgettable boy. If she had to look at him in a more positive light, she would describe him more of a young man than a boy. Hey Emily, appreciate the stream? Thanks. It his calm demeanor that made him seem more mature. Was that the cause Aoko's reasonless reaction? He seemed almost too at home in the meeting room, and she was left with the impression that it was her and the sensei, not this outsider, who were the guests here. Hey, she's angry. She felt unidentifiable aggravation, building within her, almost as if her right to be here was in question. Aoko felt herself raising her natural defense. I don't know how they do it. Did it make her shorter? No way, right? Hey, this one looks pretty good. I like this art. It's a pretty good sprite. This is a really good sprite. Look at the shadows. Look at her hand on stage right. Her left hand. Or my right, or whatever you want to call it, right? Doesn't that look good? Because it's like shadow on it. That's pretty realistic, right? It's like shadows on her clothes and wrinkles. Hey, this guy did a great job. This guy's pretty good.
信じられない。私、今わけもなく怒ってない。
Yes. Dang, the direction, bro. Artistic direction. I like this. The shadow silhouettes. She hated not understanding things, her own emotions in particular. It pains you less than you would imagine for a perfectionist like her, but it still nagged to her like a thorn in her side.
いやーほら青崎くん挨拶してあげなくちゃ。
Yamashiro's attempt to relieve the tension was equally irritating.
挨拶。
After casting a nasty glance in the sensei's direction, Naoko turned to face the boy. From an outsider perspective, it might have looked like a stare down. And at that instant, the culmination of her emotional state hurtled toward the innocent boy and skewered him.
いや待たせたねしずきくん。
Hearing his name, Sojiro. It's so hard to say that. How you say that? I just want to call him Suzuki. Sojiro came to his senses. His stunned gaze shook loose. He took a deep breath to clear his head. Chalking it up to nerves, Yamashiro Sensei broke out a smile and turned to the girl standing beside him.
紹介するよ。彼が転入生のしずき宗十郎くん。
Sojiro. I think that's how you say it.
で、こっちの彼女がしずきくんの案内役。うちの生徒会長で休日を押して新しい仲間の案内役を買って出てくれた青崎青子くんだ。
Having been introduced by Yamashiro Sensei, the girl took a step forward. Her eyes were merciless, her stare an unspoken threat to violently trample her opponent. Sojiro, on the other hand, managed to keep his own composure, despite the shock at how confrontational she appeared. He had never been greeted quite like this before, but supposed, mistakenly, that this was how people treated each other in the city. The exchange must have looked quite dramatic to an onlooker. A girl ready to brawl. An earnest country boy desperate to understand. It was a murderous limbo, especially for anyone in the room with them. Like Yamashiro Sensei, for example. While he had thought he had made the right decision choosing the honor student to help him out, she was in an inexplicably bad mood, and the tension in the air was undeniable. Oh, she's red! Whoa! Dude, I'm telling you, artistic decisions. I like the directions already. The director's decisions. More. Out of all three already. This is really good. Tsukihime remake has something like this. But I feel like it was more anime. This one feels like a book. I like that. Does that make sense? A Tsukihime remake feels more of an anime. This one actually feels more like a book. Because it's like something you see in a book, right? In the illustrations. It was this moment that he realized his failure. His realization had come far too late. One false move, and this girl, from whom no problems was too large, would becoming a storm that would rock the very foundation of the school. Just as the almighty Joker card could bring either fortune or disaster, the sole teacher who had been present at the time would come to bear the blame for the scandal that ensued.
いけてる。二人とも気は合うようだね。
What?
それじゃあ僕はこの辺でいいかな。
Then he's leaving. I thought you were going to give them a ride home or something. Yamashiro Sensei laughed nervously as he crept toward the door.
僕は職員室にいるから終わったら来るように。いいかい青崎くん。なんていうか、
Whoa, she
生
looked
徒
at
会長としての度量の広さをこの際僕に信じさせてほしいかな。
Yamashiro Sensei left, leaving the two in a locked-eyed state. one in which one set of eyes was doing all the glaring. All that remained in the room was the naive boy and a cross-armed guarded girl. The two lingered in silence. They resembled shogi players agonizing over their first move, though ultimately it was only Aoko that had considered the scene that carefully. She tries to put her irritation aside for the time being. With no reason to feel involved for him in the first place, she sighed deeply and faced Sojiro.
まあいいわ。山城先生がヒルアンドンなのは今に始まったことじゃないし。
Why is there two Aoko, bro? You think they got lazy and not draw another background scene with Aoko not in it? Or is this another, is this an artistic direction that I just can't understand? I think there's an artistic direction.
それで、あなた名前は?
I do like having two Aokos on the screen. Oh, she heard me. My bad. Her tone was nothing, if not reproachful. Though he had nothing to offend her. He had done nothing to offend her. But the boy failed to pick it up on it. And that is to him. Incapable of such venom himself.
ああ、静木宗十郎かな。君は青崎さんだったね。
For whatever reason, he came across as happy in his response.
さんはいいわ。柄じゃないから。こっちは静木くんでいい？
いいって何が？
だから呼び方。くん付けでいいかって聞いてるの。
Okay. I had to look at an angry face.
何よ？おかしなこと言った？私。
いや、すごく。
The boy replied immediately, as if it was a natural response, but quickly second-guessed himself.
いや、いいんだ。ごく一般的なんだろう。静木くんで頼む。君は青崎でいいんだよな。
え、よろしく。
She followed her blunt reply with a swift turn away from him. While she was hardly thrilled at the prospect of the task at hand, it had been entrusted to her, and it was her personal policy to see it through to the end.
悪いけど、優しくしてあげる気はないから。時間も惜しいし、手早く行くわよ。
それは助かる。やっぱり時間は大切だ。
Aoko blunt and sore was lost on him once again. Humans tend to be overly conscious about being ignored, whatever form that takes. But despite being peeved at landing none of her attacks, Aoko did her best to act professional and directed her guests into the hallway. There was no sunlight in the hallway, nor any signs of life. This was more like a prison than a cave that was the meeting room. As it dawned on Aoko that the hallway matched her mood, she sighed once again.
まず聞いておくけど、山城先生から聞いたことは理解してる？
ああ、学校の仕組みについては分かった。この建物全部に同い年の人間がいるなんて、ちょっと想像できないけど。
そう、よかったわね。
Aoko rubbed her forehead. The Sojiro kid had no idea what he was in for. Apparently, all he heard about school was that it was a place where a lot of people met to study. High school teachers imparted to students their knowledge in various fields of study, while fostering discipline and creativity. But never did Aoko imagine that she would have to explain the concept of school itself to someone. Yes, fundamentals were important, but this was absurd. She had serious doubts whether he could even handle classes, but Yamashiro-sensei insisted that things would work out somehow. Sojiro had managed to pass the transfer exam, after all, barely.
ま、私には関係ないけど。
Aoko grumbled mentally as she walked down the hallway. She consoled herself with the fact that today would be the only day she spent with this boy out of time, or at least she tried to keep it that way.
青崎。
He asked, calmly trying to get her attention.
何？
こっちも一つ聞いていいかな。
だから何？
俺の気のせいだと思うんだが、君はまるで何かを睨んでいるように見える。やはり今朝は悪いものでも。
His gaze revealed earnest concern, as if asking her if she remembered to eat breakfast. Oh, dang. The face she made. It was like another hammer to her head. Hey, it is like an anime, bro. I like that. It was true that Aoko had been glaring at Sojiro the entire time. Glaring red-hot daggers, in fact. Not just at him, but the universe. Even on her best days, her roommates used to remark,
青子の視線は普通の人には厳しいわ。もう少し多くのことに寛大になるべきね。
and she does scowl a lot. She'd been warned that her emotions were so naked on her face that people treated her like powdered keg. How naive could a boy be that he could not pick up on this?
私をバカにしてるってわけじゃなさそうよね。この場合。
Oh man, we never seen her like this before. Dang, I'm seeing a totally new side of Aoko. Even she found her attempt to assure herself unconvincing. To begin to dawn on Aoko far too late. That compared to her, this laid-back transfer student might as well have been from another planet.
いいわ。言葉にしないとわからないようだから言うけど、あなたの気のせいじゃなくて、私は視線で遠回しに感情を表現してたの。いちいち声に出すのも会話にするのも面倒だから。
In response to her words, the Martian clapped his hands together.
なるほど。どうしてそうしたいのかはわからないが、確かにそっちの方が手っ取り早い意思表現だ。
Sojiro accepted her reasoning without argument. Though he still had no idea what kind of emotion she was trying to express. It was as if she could hear the words but didn't grasp the meaning. Ideas that should have connected were instead separated by blocks into blocks.
確かにずれてるわ、こいつ。
Yamashiro sensei words made sense to her now. What was odd about this boy went way beyond naivety. A stranger in a strange land, he may be, but it was only civilized to forgive him some jet lag-induced confusion.
じゃ、とりあえずあなたの教室に行くから。
Look how detailed they are, bro. The wrinkles on the socks. Hey! She had regained her composure. Sojiro raised his hand and stopped in his tracks.
あと一つ。
Aoko waited for Sojiro to continue. The boy was patient to a fault. She rubbed her forehead with her hand again, nursing a vague feeling of uneasiness.
これもちょっとした疑問なんだが、なんで君は怒ってるんだ？怒るのが商売とか、そういう家柄の人なのか？
Hey. Dang. A long silence. Though she knew it wouldn't change the situation, she remembered her regret at answering the phone that morning. Man, Nasu's a genius. Alright, he wrote like, so far, this is my third Nasu piece. Alright. I only read Tsukihime. Well, technically fourth, I guess, if you want to count the remake. Do you count the fan disc too? I'm not counting the fan disc. Let's do main series only. Because I don't want to try to keep up how many I read. So, Tsukihime and Fate Stay Night, right? That's what I read from the main series. And now, Mahoyo. Very different. How does he do it? Very different characters. Hey. Very different reactions. And they're all good. From all three. He's good. Nasu's a good guy. He's really good what he do. He meant no harm. She repeated this thought like a mantra in an attempt to keep her impulses in check.
別にあなたのせいじゃないから気にする必要はないわ。ただ、この一瞬とお昼まで眠っていた場合を計りにかけたら、あまりに利益の違いがあって頭を抱えただけよ。
With that vague answer, she started to walk again, and turned her gaze away from the rude stranger named Sojiro Shizuki. Oh, it's saving. Auto save. What time is it? I don't think... do have work tomorrow, but Let's keep going. While what constitutes normal is certainly up for debate, most would undoubtedly refer to him as so. He was a simple and nice boy with nondescript features. If he were an ice cream flavor, he would be vanilla. And Sojiro found Ako to be very businesslike and full of life. There was a certain purpose to her movements, as it began and ended in an ordinary fashion. The way her fingers raised as she pointed at things. The way she made her way across the hallway and classrooms. The way she will occasionally glance back at him to make sure he was keeping pace. Each and every movement was so impressive that he couldn't take his eyes off of her. Ako showed him to the classroom, Class C, at the 11th grade, or second year, right? The room certainly displayed more of a human touch than the previous meeting room, but Sojiro was none of the wiser as to its function. Ako gave a brief explanation before they visited individual subject classrooms, as well as the gym, cafeteria, locker room, and school infirmary. Sojiro asked so many questions that much time passed before they reached the AV room on the second floor. Sojiro stopped, looking genuinely concerned. What does that mean?
嘘でしょ? うちの校舎そんな広くないわよ.
The tour had begun around 10, which meant that 3 hours had passed. The tour of the school shouldn't take anywhere near this long.
そうだったわね. 行く先々で根掘り葉掘り聞かれちゃ、そりゃ何時間でも経つわ.
Ako glared at Sojiro. She was being sarcastic, of course, knowing full well he would never pick up on it. Is he? To her surprise, he looked down apologetically, unable to hide his dejection.
なんだこいつ。ちゃんとしてるっちゃ。
The guy before her now looks nothing like earlier. In contrast to seeing his once impenetrable veneer when they first met, she found herself feeling sympathetic. Momentarily at least, until her irritation returned in full force.
で、何がまずいの? 覚えることが多すぎてパンクしたなんて言わないでね。
いや、それもあるけど、学校のことは別にして、一時になるとまずいんだ。
Sojiro gazed wonder as if worried about something. If he was worried about the weather, he would have a hard time seeing as if there were no windows in his hallway.
へえ、時間を気にするってことは用事があるのね。そう。人の予定を引っかき回しておいて、自分だけ好きなようにやろうって言うんだ。
Oh, dang, she's sassy. I like that.
なんだ、顔に似合わずいい人ね、君。
いや、褒めても何も出ないぞ。
誰も褒めちゃいないわよ。
She yelled at him, unable to hold back her fury.
でそれで一体何の用なの?
Sojiro's face lit up as he finally understood what she was asking him.
そこは秘密にしておきたい。
Dang, eyes wide open. Yo, they added so many expressions to Ako. I love it. He said with a perfectly straight face.
慣れ始めたつもりだったけど、こいつのこういったテンポに失神しそうになるわ。
Wow, this visual novel is amazing. I've seen so many facial expressions in many of the visual novels I already read. They only had like 4. This one showed more than 4 already. Her frustration was natural. So she did everything she could to stiff her feelings and fake a smile.
しずきくん?
She took a step forward.
秘密だってば。
Feeling the mood change drastically, Sojiro took a step back. And another, and another. No matter how many steps he took back, she kept edging towards him. She was smiling, but he thought he could see the blood boiling underneath her skin.
これ、最後の質問にしとくわね。あなた、私をからかって楽しい?
Yes. He had no intention of mocking her, though at this point he doubted presenting any evidence to prove this would do much to erase that forced smile on her face.
わかった。説明する。
His arms raised in surrender. She halted her advance and freed her face from that unseemly smile.
実は1時からアルバイトがあるんだ。でもここはそういうの禁止なんだろ？
そうだけど、あ、禁止されてるから秘密にしようと思ったの？バカね。それなら許可さえ下りていれば問題ないわよ。
Yeah, dweeb.
知ってる。試験の時に許可をもらってる。
へえ。
Ako's face lit up as she realized she might not be the piece of work she thought him to be. Yet.
しかし、許可は一つしかもらえなかった。
Oh, he got a lot of jobs.
一つって、あなた掛け持ちでバイトしてるの？
これでも2件減らしたんだ。
What?
生活費だけで大変なのに、学費まで稼がなくちゃいけない。なのに働き先は一つだけというのはあんまりだと思わないか？
いや、あんまりなのはあなたの方だと思うけど。
Though still irritated, her opinion of him changed a little. She was impressed that he was able to take care of his tuition and living expenses all on his own. She could also empathize that having no time to oneself, her anger began to subside. The words part-time job were about the last thing she ever expected to hear out of this country boy's mouth.
そういうことなら仕方ないわね。いいわ、行きなさいよ。事情は分かったから。
青崎はいいのか？
She had no idea what his question meant, but she at least understood he was trying to be considerate, which also took her by surprise. She figured that he'd just be as dense as people's feelings as he was about everything else.
別に、私もこのまま帰るから。
First, though, she thought it would be best that they both stop at the faculty room. Yamashiro Sensei had mentioned that the transfer procedures had already been completed, so all that remained was for him to sign off on her duties.
先生、案内終わりました。
それはお疲れ様。しずきくんもお疲れ様。
Oh, snap.
それで校舎を回った感想はどうかな？
ありがとうございます。なんというか、とても学校ですね。
そうかそうか。うん、明日から頑張りなさい。
She had no interest whatsoever in this pointless wrap-up meeting.
山城先生のことは気にしないでいいわ。教え子に厄介なことを押し付けてふんぞり返っているぐらい職員室が好きなんだから、何時間でも待ってるでしょ。いや、待ってるべきじゃない？
そうか。青崎がいいんならいいんだな。
ん？
There it was again. Whatever Sojiro was getting at, Ako had no idea. I like this game.
それじゃ行くよ。今日はあり
This
がと
game's
う。
pretty good.
今日だけよ、今日だけ。
She shooed him away with her hand. His face bent into a broad smile, as if he found the gesture endearing. It was a softer expression that she had grown accustomed to seeing out of him. It was the kind of smile that would make anyone smile back. Well, most people at least. Ako Aozaki didn't betray the slightest hint of a smile.
それじゃまた。
I wonder why he turned to a shadow silhouette. Shadow silhouettes. Director's interview would be nice.
Huh?
And with that friendly farewell, Sojiro walked towards the end of the hallway. Or so she thought, before he turned into the next class over. Sojiro headed straight for one of the classroom windows, whereupon he opened it with ease. The chilly November air filled the room as the soft sound of the rain doubled in volume. In that instant, she realized the tension of opening the window she really wished she hadn't.
いや、待て待て待て！
He already one leg out the window when she dashed to stop him.
何するつもりよ、あんたは！
何ってアルバイトに行くんだけど。
What?
その窓は人が出入りするところじゃないの。だいたいここ何階だと思ってるの？
She saw the light of understanding dawn in his eyes.
死ぬところだった。2階から降りたら危なすぎる。
What the fuck?
危ないのはあんたの頭。
Her insult went right over his head.
あのね、こっちじゃ窓から人は出入りしないの。さっき言っとくべきだったわ。
知ってるよ。時間がないんで慌ててたんだ。ありがとう。これからは気をつける。
He knew. Wow, this guy's dangerous. That smile. What the hell? Oh no. He put his leg back inside and closed the window. His school uniform was soaking wet from the rain.
いいけど、私は別に。あなたがどこから外に出ようが関係ないもの。ただ、できれば私の前ではやらないでほしいだけよ。それより、あなた、本当に明日から学校に来るの？
Dang, they really love Akko, huh? She has so many facial expressions. I think she probably had the most facial expressions in Type Moon already. As a whole. Nah, that's too much. Not as a whole. But at least more than any character in Type Moon. I don't know any characters that have more facial expression than Akko. Even in the remake.
来るよ。不安だけど案内してもらったし。
I meant like Tsukihime remake. Can't think of one. No, never mind. I think we've seen the expression before. I think so far she got like 7, right? That's not that bad. He bid her farewell before running away down the hallway. She hoped he would walk down the stairs and leave to the school entrance like a normal person.
大丈夫なのか？あんなんで。
The image of him disappearing into the distance popped into her head, in spite of her eerie. I think I know the artistic decisions between the two characters. What's happening right now is in the background, in real life, right? But the second image with her scowling, that's her mental image. This is what she's thinking. She's scowling in her mentally. I think that's very smart. Then they did a pretty good job. She had no intentions of spending any more time with him, and yet she felt strangely anxious. She couldn't tell if that feeling was fueled by concern or irritation. Why had she gotten angry with this insignificant transfer student in the first place? A strange day with a strange transfer student, resulting in strange emotions. Her head tilted as she reflected on what should have been a more enjoyable day than the irritating experience she just had.
いっか。どうせこれっきりなんだし。
What if he go out the window again? The sound of the rain echoed quietly all around her. The gray sky seemed frozen in time. It was impossible to discern whether it was morning or evening. Yamashita-sensei and Akko were likely the only one left at school. The unlit classroom looked overly gloomy and ominous as Akko stood it alone. Oh, dude, this game is smart, dude. That's why there's shadow silhouettes. It's because the building is dark. There's no lights in the building. They mentioned that. Damn, I'm telling you. You're very smart. Every decision actually makes sense the more you think about it. The reason why everything's like a shadow silhouette is because it's dark in the building. They've been telling us it's dark, but I couldn't get it. I couldn't fit the pieces. And the reason behind the two character models is the physical model and their mental model, right? The faces they make in their mental image of what they're thinking and what they're in the image they're making in real life. She pulled up her left sleeve. Her dainty, unremarkable watch showed that it was almost 1 o'clock.
時間合ってる。
She looked out the window at the grounds below. She saw a boy in uniform running through the rain without an umbrella, a sight she must have seen before, but for whatever reason affected her far more than she wished. Let me see. Alright, I gotta choose video game or work. I do want to choose video game, but I do need a roof over my head. So I guess we'll save here. We'll save here. This is pretty good. I'm liking it. The more I play it, the more I'm liking it so far. That's for sure. This feels like a classic visual novel screen, right? Then we had this screen in White Album too. That was cool. It's definitely a classic. I never messed with the voice. Your voice, auto adjust music. Yeah, doi. Oh, spoiler! They're showing me Alice's face. Let's see. You want the text to be fast? Make it a little bit faster. I never realized the. What the hell? Window opacity. What did dash? Did you ever saw a window? Text outline off. Now we need that. Recolor text on. I don't know what that is. Dude. What the hell? PC port confirmed? Wait a minute, this game already out on PC. Did they like forgot to take out the PC part? Hey Nasu, what the hell, dude? You could release this on PC. This game's already on PC. It's just not on digitally, right? It's only hard disk. It's on PC. Nasu, what the heck, bro? What's this left click, right click stuff? Well, to be fair, I guess you can hook up a mouse and keyboard to the PS4, but I mean, you can learn how to play. Backlog. That's all I need to know, honestly. Just the face buttons, X, O, square, triangle. Alright. Let's turn to the main menu. No music? Oh, there you go. I'm listening to the music. So this is the main theme of Witch on the Holy Night. Hey, what was the main theme in Face Day Night? I don't remember the main menu theme. It's been a long time. I remember Tsukihime. Dun 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 dun. I like the piano more. This one's like the acoustics, right? Oh, that's my save. Extra. We did not unlock any CGs. Wow, there's 21 CGs? I heard this game was short. But it's a lot of CGs for a 30-hour game. Wow, this looks really nice. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Hey, yo, this game is sick. Alright, you know what? First impression. This is 10 out of 10, bruh. What? Yeah, 10 out of 10 visual novel. It's only been the first 2 hours. 2 hours, I'm impressed. Honestly, it's not fair to compare it to Tsukihime Remake. I don't think you should compare them. Even though they're like the same dudes. I feel like they feel like their own thing. That's the crazy part, right? Because it looks different. Character design is different, obviously, right? It's from Takuichi to the other guy, right? Background scenes, they look pretty similar, but the settings are like way different, right? It's Misaki Town versus Soya. Soya it feels like it's more of life, but so far Misaki Town is the first day, cloudiness, you know, all that. Definitely give off that dreary vibe, right? Yeah, they feel like two completely different games, and that's what I like. Two completely different games, two completely different story. None of them have very any similarities at all, right? Besides the universe, but besides that, dang, bro, Nasu's really good. I should really explore his works. Dang, he really is good. I want to say It might be too early. It's only been 2 hours. But I feel like it's 3 for 3. Hey. Because I read Facing Night. That was my first Nasu work. Godlike. Tsukihime OG, by the way. And I still thought it was godlike. I was like, wow, that was amazing. The remake obviously take it a step way above. I'm like, holy crap, that's perfect. And now Mahoyo is starting off really good. But, like all good things, I have to stop and go back to reality. Put on my blue collar and actually sleep before I do that. But you get the drill. I appreciate when I stopped by. It's been cool. First impression, 10 out of 10. This is godlike. We'll play more Wish on the Holy Night, Mahoyo, later. Alright, later. Bye.